So I'm currently 22 years old. I have 6 credit cards to my name. I want to get that number up to 10 cards in the next year. I have 0 credit card debt, have never missed a payment. In the past year alone, I've been able to earn back $2,000 plus of cash back. Now, I view myself as pretty successful when it comes to my credit card spending and the strategies I use to earn a lot of cash back, but there's a couple things that I wish someone would have told me when I started off my credit card journey. And that's the exact reason I'm making this video, to share 6 key lessons that I wish that someone shared with me, that I decided to share with you, on things that you can do to better your credit card journey and earn a lot more cash back when doing so. And believe me, the last 2 lessons are probably the most important, so stick around to those. But getting right into the first lesson today, this is going to be to take advantage of sign-up bonuses. If you want to earn huge amounts of cash back in just big bursts, you need to make sure that you're hitting these. With my Chase cards alone in the past year, I was able to earn $100 cash back, $200 cash back, and $750 cash back. And then on my Capital One Saver One card, I also earned $200 cash back, meaning I earned $1,250 in 1 year solely from hitting sign-up bonuses. So how could you do this as well? Well, my biggest piece of advice would be patient and do research. It's no secret that credit card issuers will have the same sign-up bonus for maybe 3 to 4 months at a time, then all of a sudden offer a special promotion, and then you're going to be able to earn back an extra $50 to $200 cash back. And if you're able to be patient and time things up, you're going to be able to ensure you're actually going to be able to spend enough to hit that bonus and also get a more favorable bonus. On the positive end for myself, I was able to get an extra $150 of cash back on my Chase Sapphire Preferred. Their typical bonus will give you $600 cash back. I was lucky and able to wait a little bit longer to earn back $750 of cash back. And on the other end of the spectrum with the Chase Freedom Unlimited, when I went out and got that card, I was too eager to get the card itself that I didn't wait for a better bonus. And I actually missed out on $100 cash back there from their standard bonuses. And look, if you're gonna miss a bonus because you're in a tough financial situation, please don't feel bad at all. Definitely figure that out first before you go hunting these bonuses. But if you're missing bonuses because you're not aware, then that's definitely a mistake that you could fix very easily by just doing a little bit of research and finding out how to take advantage of them. But now moving on to lesson number 2, and this is going to sound super self-explanatory, but trust me, this is a very common mistake. Please learn how to use the credit cards that you have and how you're going to use the ones that you are getting. Now, a ton of people make this mistake of going out and getting cards that they don't really know how to use, and then eventually they just kind of collect dust or they don't take full advantage of them. For myself, I got a card through my bank that basically after a week, I stopped using because I went out and got a different card that actually fit me after doing a little bit of research. Another example I can give came from when I started getting really heavy into credit cards and started doing a ton of research on spending with them. I actually did an audit for my mom on her wallet to see where she could optimize her spending for her cash back. Not to pick on her, but she's had the gold card for the better part of 10 years and decided to use her Discover It cashback credit card for all of her dining and grocery purchases. This means that instead of getting 4 times points back on all of her food purchases with a card she was paying for, she'd rather have gotten 1% cash back on a card that was totally free to carry. Now, she never took advantage of any statement credits with that card and was missing out on so much value, not because she chose to, but because she was kind of unaware of how much was packed inside of that credit card. As someone now that has a ton of credit card videos online, I do find it funny that my mom was so unaware of how to use her credit card, but even with her mistakes, I still love her. And truthfully, doing an audit that takes all the half hour to Google what cards you have, what spending categories they give you cash back in, and just writing down on a piece of paper where and when to use each card, you're going to set yourself on the right foot. And I guarantee you, if you take time, write out where all your cards are, you're going to find ways to earn more cash back than you already are earning. Cashback lessons aside, let's now move on to our third lesson, which is going to be patient with applications. And I touched upon this a bit earlier with the sign-up bonuses. And once again, I know this sounds super easy, but in practice, it's a bit harder than it sounds. And I truly wish that I had learned this lesson from someone earlier, because I found myself getting denied from 2 credit cards because I was not patient with my applications. I wasn't denied because my credit card was too low or I had too many missed payments. I was denied because I had too many applications in too short of a time. In my first go around trying to get the Chase Freedom Flex, I was denied for that credit card because I had applied for 3 credit cards within a 1-month period. Looking back on it, definitely not a big brain move by me then, however I do know now. The second denial actually came from a different card, and at that time I'd actually spaced out my applications a bit to around 3 to 4 months, and that still proved to be a little bit too close as I broke one of Citi's rules when applying for their Citi custom cash. And for those of you unaware, each credit card company will typically have their own set of rules that they follow for applications. Some will allow you to only apply for 2 to 3 cards in a year window. Some, like the Chase credit card system, only allows you to apply for 5 credit cards from any issuer in the past 24 months, or you will be automatically denied for getting one of their credit cards. And to avoid all the confusion from so many different issuers like Amex, Capital One, Citi, Chase, Bank of America, the biggest thing I could just recommend, wait 6 months between every application. If you follow that timeline of around 6 months between every application, you should have no issues with any of the credit card applications. Be patient. I know that if you get your mind set on a card, you're gonna wanna go get it, especially if you know you just applied for a card and a new one that you wanted has a good sign-up bonus. Be patient, hold off. It's okay if you miss it, it will come up again. Wait around 6 months and you should have no problems. Moving right along to lesson number 4, this is going to be to take advantage of co-branded credit cards that come through an issuer but are paired with airlines, hotels, or other companies. Now, these co-branded cards are some of the ones that I actually avoided the most for a long time, partially because I wasn't aware, partially because I was not planning on doing any serious traveling, so I wasn't really looking to get a travel-based hybrid card. And just to show some of the value you could get with some of these cards, let's take the World of Hyatt credit card that's paired with Chase for an example. So that credit card is going to have a $95 annual fee, but with it, every single year, you're actually going to get a free stay at a World of Hyatt hotel. On top of that, you can take advantage of a sign-up bonus. You can earn 9 times World of Hyatt points back on all of your hotel purchases with the card with them. You can also earn 2 times World of Hyatt points back with all of your other purchases. You're going to have World of Hyatt Discovery status. You're going to have a bunch of other smaller benefits and value with them, and can earn rewards to earning more free nights with World of Hyatt. And given that one hotel stay will probably run you more than their $95 annual fee, you're essentially paying for a hotel stay up front and then being able to take advantage of all the other credits and value in that card with just making that annual fee payment. So if I'm someone that stays at World of Hyatt hotels all the time, I think looking into a card like that would be very, very smart to maximize your value. And just a small disclaimer, if you are newer to credit cards or don't plan on traveling a ton, I'd probably hold off on getting these cards so you really find one that speaks to you, or you know you're going to get a ton of value. And in my honest opinion, I'd probably say that 80% of the co-branded cards out there are probably not very good, or 20% of them are really good, like that World of Hyatt card. So definitely do a lot of research to see what is good versus what isn't. Now moving on to lesson number 5, and arguably the most important lesson up to this point, this is going to be understand how your credit score works. When I first got into credit cards, I was told and under the impression if I hold these cards, don't miss a payment, my credit score would go up, and that's exactly what happened. And truthfully, it isn't that simple. Yes, that will help, but there's so many other factors that go into your credit score that when using a credit card, you need to be aware of. I'm not going to dig through the weeds of your credit score in this video. If you want to learn more on that, I'll have a video linked down below and up above on how you can improve your credit score. But essentially, 2 other key things that you might not be aware of. Every time you apply for a new credit card, there's likely a hard inquiry on your credit score. This essentially means the bank is checking if you are worthy to give a credit card to. Typically, these hard inquiries will drop your score by a little bit. Over time, it will rebound pretty quickly, around 4 to 6 months, it typically goes away. And probably the biggest mistake I see people make with their credit cards just because they're unaware is having too high of a credit utilization rate. At the end of the month, whatever your total credit allowed is, they'll see how much you have used, divided by how much you have, and that will give you your rate. Let's say I have a $10,000 credit line and I've used $5,000. At the end of the month, I'd have a 50% rate. The goal here, keep that rate below 30%. If you keep it 30% or below, you're gonna have no issues. Your credit score will go up over time. Problems come when you start creeping into 50, 70, touching 90 to 100% credit utilization. 1, it's probably not a good idea to be using that much of your credit. And 2, it's just seen as a negative issue to these issuers of, hey, they're kind of risky. Why are they using so much of our money? But my biggest piece of advice here would be do more research and understand how your credit score is broken down. If you understand that, then you'll be able to learn how to master it and play the system to get it to go up over time. Like I said earlier, I'll have an in-depth video on how exactly your credit score is broken up, linked up above and down below. And now moving on to our final lesson in today's video. In lesson 6 is going to be understanding that only you can set yourself up for success. What I mean by this is no one can make sure that you're making your payments on time but you. No one can make sure that you're not overspending but you. No one can limit the amount of mistakes you make but you. And truthfully, it is pretty scary once you understand that it's only you that you can rely on for this personal finance journey. Yes, you'll have other people helping you around you. There's tons of tools and resources for that, but it really does fall back on you, and you only have the control to set yourself up for success. Some of the big things I would recommend doing to set yourself up for success: continue consuming content like you're doing right now. Watching videos, engaging with tons of different great creators out there is so fantastic to help educate yourself. Around 16 or 17 months ago, in April or May 2023, I didn't have a single credit card in my name. I didn't know the first thing about credit cards or anything really about personal finance with them. I started consuming content like you're doing right now, watching this video, about other people's journeys, which inspired me to take control of my own journey, so much so to the point that I made this channel, and now I'm actually doing it as a side hustle, learning about credit cards myself and sharing that personal finance message with a large audience. Of course, I would really encourage you guys to consume my content. Go hit like and subscribe if you could. But there's tons of other creators out there. In the credit card space, there's probably 50 to 100 plus creators making fantastic videos on very similar topics. If you expand out personal finance, there's so much there. It doesn't have to be in the form of YouTube. If you do research through blogs, you do articles, you could just find things that fit you, read up on things, watch videos on things. There's no reason that you shouldn't at least know where to go to educate yourself on certain topics. By just shifting our mindset from, hey, I don't really need to know this, to, boy, I'd love to learn more about this topic in this personal finance or credit card realm, I can learn so much, grow so much, and earn more money doing so with cash back. And that truthfully is it for lesson 6. Have a learner mentality. Be doing the right things by just researching and continually reflecting on yourself. If you guys got anything out of today's video, you found it helpful at all, please go hit like and consider subscribing so the message of personal finance grows and gets out to more people. I greatly appreciate y'all watching. If you were interested in learning more about your credit score, like I said earlier, video linked right here. If you guys go hit like and subscribe again, appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.